Speaking of Krump podcast episode 4 this time, right? Might notice we're wearing the same clothes as the last podcast, but it's because we're filming it the same day. We're gonna whack these out so we can give you more content quicker, basically. Yeah, so there you go. So make sure you subscribe.
We should have like quickly changed our t-shirt or something.
Yeah, we
swap places.
We could have hidden that the sort of tricks with the camera, you know, smoke and mirrors and all that. I'll Photoshop it afterwards. I'll yeah, don't worry. We'll post. I'll fix it in post. Different outfits. Alright, cool.
Yeah, but we spoke about it.
I've given it away now. Yeah, we're wearing our butt clothes. It's fine. Yeah, I'll keep it. Alright, I'll change my mind now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we left last podcast, if I remember from earlier this evening, doing pretty much a summary of January, and we were talking about how active we were, and just how like sort of non-stop it was in terms of traveling, competing. I think you said you did like so many battle rounds, like so much footage. And yeah, very, very impressed with that. And the thing we didn't get to discuss that I wanted to sort of spend a little bit of time talking about was we finally got back to an online competition with FCD Krump, the Illest online qualifier, which is super exciting. It's obviously a format that got really popular during the pandemic and everything. And so we really threw ourselves into the middle of it back whenever that was, and then now I haven't done an online competition in such a long time, and then suddenly
I can't remember the last one.
Yeah, then we got back to so obviously I saw FCD doing the online qualifier for Illest. I'd love to be one of the guests at Illest. I don't want to do the pre-selection at Illest.
Yeah, like this, doing an online tournament for like everyone in the world, to like have the chance to be like to qualify for Illest is like really, really dope, because anyone who's gone to Illest or EBS, you know, like a huge tournament, like a huge event, if you don't know about them, go and check them out. But the pre-selections last for hours, so it's a very small chance, and because they're only choosing sometimes they're only choosing 8 people because they've already had 8 qualified already. Especially with Illest. So then, you know, you've got hundreds of people and they're only going to choose 8. So it's really, really difficult. So to do a qualifier and to get the spot and then turn up to Illest and not have to do a pre-selection, you can relax on that day. You know that you're going to get to battle. That's an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, really. And it was such a relief just watching everyone stress, because it is, we're not exaggerating, it's hours. And we talk about like, you know, at least over 100 people, I think, for both the male and the female category. Yeah. And so, you know, you're waiting for your 45 seconds to dance in front of the judges, like after, you know, potentially after 10 people, potentially after 120 people, and then finally you get your 45 seconds and you've been warmed up and in the zone. You have to walk around your character for like 3 hours. And it's so much work. But, I mean, obviously, it is such a crazy day, but I just wish it was such a crazy day where I could just watch. And like, I remember there was a couple of years where I was like 15th or something like this, and it is such a relief to sit down and you just look around and everyone else is like this, warming up, keeping warm,
constantly getting ready, and keeping that adrenaline for a long time.
So obviously I had to take the chance to try and win the online qualifier. I had to at least put myself in the running for it, because, you know, if you don't enter, you got 0 chance of winning, obviously.
No risk, no reward.
Exactly.
So me, you, and Braze, I believe, are the only ones.
I think that's right. I think that's just
have a little moment for.
Oh, freeze. Nice.
Yeah.
Use that for the thumbnail. Use that for the thumbnail. I like that a lot.
So me, Crook, and Braze are the only ones that entered, I believe, from the UK. And yeah, it was like they would choose it. They weren't doing the sort of a male category, a female category, and a kids category. It was like free for all, anyone.
Yeah.
And they chose 16 people.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
16 people. Unfortunately, I didn't make it. But I was proud of myself. I was like the first person, I think, or the second person to post up their pre-selection round. I feel like in online tournaments they give you like, okay, you've got till this date. Pre-selection's open on the Monday and they close on the following Sunday, so you've got all week to do it. And everyone waits to the last minute to put their round in.
It is a common thing.
And I don't know why, because, you know, you can probably do your round again and make it better if you like. If you see someone like, oh, their pre-selection, they had this and this, mine didn't, let me try and do another round before I post it. I guess, but I was like, I'm not going to be able to change that much in a few days. Plus I'm working and I've got so much other stuff to do. Plus we were traveling as well to different countries.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just going to post it. And mine stayed up for ages. And I was like, where's everybody else's? And then like towards the end of the week, it was like bang, 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 bang. Loads. And I was like, okay, like, the tournament's popping now. I didn't make it through the top 16, but CrookedDistrict and Braze, who never wants to be on the camera ever, made it through. So you talk about.
Yeah, so we made it through, and the lineup was such a varied group actually. So I was really pleasantly surprised, and it's such a funny thing because we're talking about, like, you know, this was just after Holland, I think.
Yeah, literally, it was
just before Barcelona, I think.
The pre-selection started the same time as we were in Holland.
Because we were debating actually filming it out there. I don't think we got time in the end, but
so busy. Yeah, we didn't get time.
But it's just so I don't know. Like it kind of occurred to me that I was filming like several rounds and then just picking the best one, and I just think, you know what? I wish I could do this for every event I go to. It'd be so good to be in like a Seven to Smoke situation, or just go up and do my pre-selection at Illist, for example, and just say, you know what, this is my best one, and that would be such a relief.
Do over. Let me put it up. Let me go again.
Yeah. I'll say to Braze, like, he's holding the camera, and I'm like, but Braze, film another one. All right, okay, cool. But then I could just slot that in. There you go, Illist judges. There you go. I just watch that pre-selection. That was such a nice thing. But that's what changes like the format so much, because actually, you can't just. It's not the same as like sort of being in the moment, because you know that you can't just replay it. You know, you try your best, obviously, in every single round. But it's quite nice just to pick that one that you think is the most solid, rather than being face to face with somebody and saying, like, you know, if you're a bit tired, you know. 'Cause I remember doing this. Before for online competitions, where I filmed a whole bunch of rounds, didn't like any of them, just did some the next day, and that was quite a relief, and the pressure isn't the same.
Yeah. And
I briefly said this in the last podcast actually about how like the adrenaline hits me, and so I like being in the moment. But filming one for this for the top 16 about a guy called Ninja from Germany. Who I actually haven't seen much of him at all, but we briefly spoke as well, and he's a really nice guy, and he's black. So, but what can I say? He did beat me. It was tied with the two judges, and then the votes on the video was just a little bit of a landslide towards him. So I thought I'd walk around, but it's something to. Yeah, it's something to comment on. I
feel like this is one of the topics of online tournaments we need to discuss. So usually with online tournaments, they have set judges. So in this case, in this round, they had J Slam and they had Girl Main Event, and in the final vote, so there's 3 votes, so there's a clear winner, goes to the Krump world. Now, I see, like, what you had to do is you have to tag the person who you think wins, and then you usually have to follow a page as well for that to count, and then you have to share it on the story. If you don't follow the page, then the vote doesn't count. If you don't share it, the vote doesn't count. You can't just vote for the person and then not follow the rest of like the requirements.
Yeah. So there's certain requirements. Once you fill all those in, then your vote will count. That's it.
So with the people running an online tournament, whether it's FCD or any other like company or person or crew or whatever, I see why they do that, because it's driving traffic to their page. It's getting more followers. It's, you know, there are...
That's a social media tactic, isn't it?
to grow their social media even more.
So it makes perfect sense.
And so it makes perfect sense. Where it doesn't make sense, or where I feel like it's unfair, is on the flip side of things. They and like I say, with everyone that's doing the organising online tournaments and stuff, it's not them, because they always say, be fair with your vote, be fair, really watch the battle and really decide who won and cast your votes. But we know, and everybody knows, that people don't do that. It's just, I'm supporting either my crewmate or my fam or my country. So
it's the name of the game, isn't it? And we go into this expecting this, and so I see a lot of support, and I'm not talking about my battle specifically. It's just what I observed all the way through the online competitions during the pandemic. It's what I observed even just during this competition at the moment as well. So it's we're not just talking specifically about my battle.
No. But I'm going to talk about UK specifically when it comes to online tournaments or anything in the UK. UK is a very, very small country. Oh, that's not country. England. Let's talk about England. England.
Fair point.
England is a very, very small country. Okay, the UK is made up of 3 countries and a little bit of Ireland. But in Great Britain, there's England, Wales, and Scotland. Okay, most of the Krumpers are in England. There's a couple here and there, near Wales and in Scotland, but most of the Krumpers are in England. Did I say most of the Krumpers are in Scotland, or did I say most of the Krumpers are in England?
I think you said England.
Okay, in my head I was like, did I just say Scotland?
You meant England.
Yeah, so they're mainly in England. So let's talk England, English Krumpers. We have about, up to 100 active, and I'm going to say active, and if anyone wants to call me out on it. We have 100 active Krumpers. And so against a country with, India, Japan, Russia.
Big scenes, yeah.
Big scenes. Hundreds, thousands of Krumpers. So if it's literally going to be okay, we're going to support our country, England versus India, it's not going to happen.
If you know, then you know that we're a little bit outnumbered.
They're going to outweigh us, okay?
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, and especially in England, and I expect it happens in a lot of other countries as well, the community doesn't really support the rest of the community. So when it comes to the English votes from our fellow English Krumpers, they're nowhere to be seen. So we literally get a handful of people vote for us, and it literally is a handful. You can count them like this.
Yeah.
Maybe on the second hand, but you could count them on one hand, pretty much. So when it comes to the online votes, it's always really difficult. I mean, if you've entered the event and you have clearly lost the battle, it's okay, it doesn't even matter about the online vote, this person was amazing. But if it is very close and it's oh, I don't know, and it could go either way, and the judges, how they did with yours, it was 1 point to you and 1 point to them, the online vote, it mattered.
That's what sealed the deal.
It literally did seal the deal, because in the real world, the audience doesn't get to vote, it's the judges. So in the real world, you would have gone another round.
Yeah, in theory it would have been a tie.
It would have been a tie, and you would have gone another round. But in this case, obviously, they weren't doing that, and it has to go on the Krump World vote. And if you haven't got the support from your peoples, from the rest of the country, it's not going to happen. So the online voting thing, it's I get it, but then it can be really disheartening, especially seeing tag, and none of them's your name. That could get if someone's got sort of like low confidence as it is, or they're suffering with a bit of anxiety or insecurities, or just feeling, I don't know, maybe not feeling that great about themselves that day, and all they're seeing is like people voting against you, that could really maybe affect your mental health a little bit. Maybe I'm getting a little bit deep into it, but possibly could. And especially, okay, now I'm going on one, but I hate it. I really hate it. Like, vote for your people, but I really hate it when they say clear win, blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, just vote for your people. You don't need to be so like.
Sometimes it's not a clear win. Sometimes it's not.
But you're like 100% clear win. You bodied. You killed.
Yeah.
Okay, calm down. Just do your vote and move on.
I thought I had a good round. What happened? Yeah.
So like them kind of people, I'm like, okay, like chill your beans a little bit. But yeah, the online vote, like I say, I fully get it from the organisers' point of view, and they're trying to make it as fair as possible.
Yeah.
They tell everyone, be fair. But you really need people behind you.
Yeah, it is the name of the game. Like, when we see that this is the format, it's not like we don't know what to expect, because it can happen like this, and it just makes me curious to know if I had 1 million followers on Instagram, would that be different? Not even followers, not even Krump followers. I mean, just regular people, because I'm a really successul, whatever it might be, so I got 1 million followers on Instagram, and then I got a whole bunch of non-Krumpers voting for me. That would be great. But I mean, ideally it would just be fair, and that's exactly what it is, right? But just to see, like, there was a little bit of a landslide, and I'm thinking, where are like my people, and I'm not saying be biased, because but you don't have to vote if you think I really did lose. Or it's not just me, we're talking very generally, and it just would be nice just to get a couple more likes, a couple more comments, a couple more shares, whatever the case may be. And so when we are doing big things, we're really putting ourselves out there for an online competition. It's just a prime example. It should be good just to see a couple more names prop up and get a few more tags, and because every little helps. And I think your point is it does really make a difference. And so it would just be fantastic to see. And I think it's a good rule to have, like, when we talk about events like in our home country, we're all separated. We've got different crews, different fams and stuff like that.
We're all spread out over the country.
That's great. That's great. But now we're not talking about fam versus fam. No. We're talking about country versus country, and it's like, you kind of want to see your country doing its thing, right? I thought. I wasn't sure, but that's my opinion. So when I see somebody doing big things, drop a like, drop a comment, or something like that. And some people are more active. We could discuss this all day, I think. Some people are more active on Instagram or wherever the case may be than others. But I don't know. It's quite consistent where I see these countries with a lot of, like, a big scene. Really, they do go all in with the likes and the shares and everything like that, and I've gotten a little bit sort of envious, I suppose. I think that's the right word, anyways. It'd just be something that I would love to see the UK sort of grow into.
Just support.
Seems obvious, right?
So it's not really.
Seems obvious.
It's not it's not really that hard. But it's just a little bit sad, really, that when it's these online tournaments, and like I said, if it's a clear win, or if it's like you don't know, it could go either way, and it is probably going to go on the votes, that's when you really need your people behind you. I know you don't want people to be biased, but at the end of the day, these Krump votes, they are biased. They are, so you do need your people behind them. That's
because that is a whole thing by itself. Like, yes, if you watch these online battles, watch them fairly and vote fairly, because that is the task, isn't it? That's how you're supposed to vote. And so if is that last vote, is it the most popular, or is it the better Krumper?
Because it then becomes a popularity contest, and you're like, oh, so I'm really not liked at all then. Brilliant, thanks. But I know it's not that, but it can come across like that. I think it's just, you just need like that little bit of support. But like I said, if it's like a clear win, the Krump vote don't matter.
Yeah,
the judges will go for, you know, whoever won it clearly anyway. So that it doesn't really matter. But when it comes to them battles where it's like, okay, this could go either way, that's when you really need the people behind you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's what I feel like I think online tournaments are obviously great for everyone who can't, like, it's because it's really accessible, and it's like great for people like all over the world who, you know, want that opportunity, so that they've got the opportunity. There's no, like, you know, no one's everyone's included, like, because, you know, you don't have to buy a flight and get on a plane or something. You just do it wherever you are. So it's really great. And the for this one, the prize for it is amazing. And then whilst you're doing it, you get to battle people all over the world without even leaving your house. You battle someone in India today, and then battle someone in Germany tomorrow, and then battle someone in Japan the next day. So it's like really dope that you get to, like, battle so many people. I know in a different kind of format, but you get to battle so many people from all over the world who you probably wouldn't have even met before, and not have to pay a penny to do it.
That's why I'd say it is a really cool format. I mean, it is what it is. I can complain about everything all day if I wanted to, but actually this kind of way of interacting with people, and like you said, battling people that you've not even met, and it's such a nice feeling as well. Sort of being in a situation where you get to know somebody, like, really only through online, and suddenly they're there at the Krump event. You know, we travel somewhere, and it's like, it's that guy that I lost to.
It's like, oh yeah, it's like you then get to know more people. You get to know the Krump world more, which is really dope. Like, it's like a looking glass, like a magnifying glass on, like, it's not just the main people. It's like, oh no, you're putting a magnifying glass on the whole world, and it's like, oh, who's this person? They're buck. I've never seen this person before. So you get to, it's really dope. So I don't want online tournaments to stop. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
I don't know, and definitely not. Like, I think it's always, like, you know, a good alternative for, like, getting the whole world together without having to, you know, on such a low budget. Like,
no, really, So, you don't have to book a venue or anything like that. Everybody's got cameras on their phones now. It's just easy. Prop it up, do a quick round, do six rounds, choose your favorite, and then post it. Perfect. And then it's such a, you know, it doesn't really matter how far you go. It's the same as I say in events in person. You know, it's a taking part that counts. It sounds really cheesy, but no, it really is. It's a social environment that we're there for, and
definitely.
You know, you're just putting yourself out there, and
it gives you something to work towards as well. Because it's like, okay, I've got another round coming up, and I'm battling this person from this country. I've never known, like it gets you out of your comfort zone, even though you're in your comfort zone. A little bit. It's like it's weird, but there's one more kind of disadvantage as well, I'd say, for, like, particularly, like, I'm going to talk about me and Braze right now. Well, not me, because I didn't get through, but Braze got through, and then he won the first one, and he's now on the second one. And I think they said, obviously I'm not in the group chat, but I think they said, in this one, make sure you've got people around you to hype you. Well, where me and Braze live, there's me and Braze. That's it. We're far from everybody. We have to like travel to see everyone, like, quite far, and they only, like, you only get like a couple of days or something to do your round, and we're working all week. We already had plans set in place. We, like, it come to the day of the deadline, and we're like, he needs to do his round, but we're near no one, and because we were away, and we were like hours away, so we were like, I was like, what do? Do I hype you over the camera and all you can hear is my ugly hype in the microphone, or do I set up the camera and maybe not get you all in and just stand behind you and hype you like just one weirdo? So I was just like, he was like, just hold the camera so I know you're getting me in, and just don't bother hyping me. And that's what we had to do, because there was just me and him, like, in this field, against a building, like
oh, it was one of those like small.
Yeah. We were like, we were far away, and like far away from any Krumpers, anyone that like we can like quickly like gather together. Could we get 3 people? No, we couldn't. So when you're a person who literally lives far away from anybody else, that's something you can't quickly do. You have to like organise, like, especially around your day-to-day life, because you know work doesn't stop. The extra things that you have to do, like, they don't stop. Your priorities don't stop. So you have to do your priorities first, and then see what you've got time, like the time you've got left to do the round. And when it comes down to it, it's like, okay, can I get 3 people around me to hype me? Can I get 5 people? Like, you know, I can't even get 2. So that's the only disadvantage as well. I think that like people, not just us, people.
Sure.
Because I don't know where everyone lives, and if there's even Krumpers in their town as well, like that could be a disadvantage.
So that's the advantage. Like, it's so easy to access and to compete and to enter these online competitions. But that's the thing. If you're somewhere where you can't easily make it to regular events, in like, you know, because you're 3 hours away from the capital city or whatever it is, then actually there's actually more chance that you're literally just by yourself. And it's hard to it would be nice to have 3-4 people, or even then to be able to time it with you know, like for example the training ground sessions every Tuesday in Ely, Cambridgeshire. Because if we were able to time it like that, then you'd have a handful of people there. But because
it
it's like
had to be in before then, and we were like,
you got 48 hours, whatever it might be, to film around. And it's like, oh well, okay, let me just finish work, and then let me you know, go and do this for this person. I have this planned, and then I'll film around. You know, it's you don't have like the whole day booked off just for that competition that you knew that you were going to, because you saw the flyer a month ago. You know, then you just know that you're fully booked that day. But you just kind of have to whack out after work or whatever the case might be.
The first round for Braze, we he obviously got told that he, like, you know, announced that he passed pre-selection, and then he got his track and everything, but we were travelling to Spain. And then so we'd done all the travelling, we're up early, you know how it goes, getting to the airport, all of that, blah, blah, blah. Travelled all the way to Spain, and then went straight we dropped our bags off, went straight to the sessioned, finished at like, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night, walking back to the room and, walking back to the hotel, and Braze was like, oh, my round's due in tomorrow. So we just had to find a spot that was lit. We needed to find a lit space, and then just had to do it. Like, there was no time to like organise anything. That was literally the only time that we got. Like, that was the only chance that we got to do it, because we had so much going on, and we done it as soon as we finished the session. We were like, let's go find somewhere that's like well lit, because it was like dark, pitch black, and get this round in. So it can be like
just
that.
Just
You
have
to get it done.
I mean, you'd like for it to be, you know, in your favorite spot with all your favorite people, but sometimes, you know, just it just calls for these quick rounds out of nowhere. Yeah, but I think the summary of what we've kind of spoken about a little bit is, I mean, it all started from the online competitions, but really we sort of lean towards, you know, this idea of like support. And I think a good rule, I think everyone would agree with me when I say this, but really, like, if your own people in your own town, your own family, your own crew, your own country are really sort of putting themselves out there and really trying to push and represent, you know, themselves, but also the country that they're from, then it's always worth it. Just, you know, social media is such a powerful thing, and maybe one like doesn't mean anything. It doesn't go that far, but we're talking about one like. But then this person who also thought the same thing, 2 likes, 3 likes, 4 likes, 5. You know, I think everybody knows this. You know, but we have regular events, and so it'd be nice to share the flyer. And I'm purely talking about social media. You know, because there are more active ways to support, and
without actually having to be there. But I think I mean, maybe that's a whole nother podcast, a whole nother episode, talking about communities and supports and how to grow them. So maybe we can do that at a later date, a different episode. But for now, I think we've covered online tournaments. We've got our opinions out. Maybe you have some opinions, maybe you agree with us, maybe you don't agree with us, and that's fine. It's not hate if you don't agree with us, and we don't hate you if you don't agree with us. But yeah, if you've got anything to add to that, comment.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you, and yeah, just let us know what you think or your experiences with any online tournaments that you've done. Yeah,
we'd love to hear it because we can only talk about what we've done and where we've been and you know the process of while we were there, and yeah, so while we reflect on our experience, what is your experience?
Yeah, because maybe it's the flip side. I talked about, you know, maybe it could get to someone's mental health, but maybe it's the flip side for you, because actually maybe you struggle so much with anxiety you can't get your foot through the door to be in an event with loads of people watching you. But in your comfort zone, this is easy for you. So this is the best thing for you. Maybe that's what you think. I don't know. So how about you tell us?
Yeah. Is there anything else that you'd like to hear us discuss, talk about? Wherever the case may be, just leave it in the comments. Whether it's on YouTube or Instagram, wherever the case may be, wherever you're watching this, you know, click the support and like and share and subscribe. And yeah, let us know your thoughts and let us know if you want us to talk about anything else. But in the meantime, until the next episode, yeah, thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you. I feel like a news reporter. This is my papers.
We need like a proper musical outro.
Yeah, no, I'll have some papers and I'll just go those. That's what they do on the news, don't they?
They're not doing anything. They're
just banging the papers. But anyway, we're out.
Peace, peace, peace.
Peace.